Do you find any Abridged series overrated or underappreciated?
In the overrated category, and I've had a couple of people agree with me on this. I think that Death Note Abridged often, it gets a lot and a lot of views, but I think one of the reasons is because it has Death Note in the name. It's not that I think the series is bad by any means. In fact, I think it's good. But I think the writing is a little bit contrived. I think that its editing needs to be a bit tighter because these episodes go on to 9 to almost 10 minutes, and even they, mention, wow, this episode went really long. And I'm sitting back here going, that's because a lot of these scenes could be edited to where the lines are closer together. As good as they are at their visual editing, I mean, Ryuk in the shirt, I often watch the episodes and think, could we get to the actual jokes instead of these long setups or trying to parody some of the anime's more subtle scenes? But again, I think it's actually a good series, and there are a lot of great jokes going on there. And I do think a lot of people should check it out. I also think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets called the best out of all of them. It's so high up there with everyone, and honestly, it's probably the most original because it's the first. But I think Lanibator, HBI2K, Moscow, and Vegeta, I think a lot of these guys have come up with jokes that are right up there. Most underappreciated would probably be G Gundam Abridged because it doesn't get a lot of views. The subscription count is a bit lower than everyone else's, and I think they have a lot of good material going on in that show. I really hope it makes Cassius's top 7, because in her latest countdown, they didn't make 15 through 8, so they would probably be my most underappreciated.
That got you mad?
Actually, I'm going to mention 2 comments because there's only ever been 2 comments. One of the first comments was somebody, and this was the one that didn't really piss me off that much. It was one that said, hey, you sound pretty funny, but you sound too gay. I mean, you should sound less gay and you'd probably be funnier. I saw that comment and I was like, wow, that just didn't need to be said. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to delete that because I don't need anybody responding to you. Then the one that just made me think, you know what, screw you, man, was when somebody posted, this show was funnier before you got your hands on it. Way to fail. And I was like, oh, screw you, dude. Your comment's gone. If you don't have constructive criticism, don't post on my page. So I do have a knack for deleting any comment that isn't constructive. I don't care if somebody doesn't like my material. They can say, you know what, this is funny, but I think this joke didn't work. Or if somebody wants to have constructive criticism, that's fine. But do not just outright insult me, and don't say something that didn't need to be said, because otherwise it's just probably going to be gone.
Right. What about the opposite? Comments that uplifted you?
It's hard for me to point out one, and I have such a bad memory, so remembering these is kind of difficult for me. But I have gotten a lot of people who say that my Lupin impersonation, or my Tony Oliver impersonation anyway, is very spot on. And when I hear that, it makes me squeak a little bit inside, this little squee of happiness, because I try so hard to make it sound like Tony Oliver, but also give it my own little twist, because I can't have it sound exactly like him. But yeah, every time somebody compliments my Lupin, it makes me feel like I'm doing my best.
Right.
Because I want to be a voice actor someday, maybe. I have so many goals right now.
If you could abridge any other anime series, what would it be?
That's actually kind of a hard question. We're nearing 1 million anime series, so part of me wants to say Dragon Ball because my guilty pleasure, and it's been with me for so long. But at the same time, I really think that the guys who are doing the abridged movies, Moscow X and all of them, and I think they really have that under control. And then there's also Skins abridged series, which I think is well and good. I would have to say I would want to go after Dragon Ball just because I know and am so close to this series, I would be able to work with that material probably better than almost any other series. Part of me also kind of wants to say Cowboy Bebop, mostly because I love it and would like to do the impossible and do an abridged version of it.
Kind of like what HBI2K did with Berserk.
Do you have a sort of close relationship with Idlid Studios?
A close relationship. We talk a bit now. At least Takahata and I, and sometimes Cheeseman joins in. But there is a slight little bit of a cameo from Takahata in the 4th episode of Lupin. I don't know if this interview is going to be out by the time the episode is, but Takan and I, we're on pretty good terms, and we talk a bit.
Have you seen the other council members' Abridged series?
Oh, way to put me on the spot. I have not seen anybody else's, actually. I saw a little bit of the Mega Man one. Ooh, the Mega Man one. I saw a little bit of it. I only saw a little bit of the Bleach one, which I'm going to have to check out sometime. I haven't seen the Zatch Bell one, mostly because I'm not a huge fan of Zatch Bell, but I think I should probably give it a try too, mostly because I think it's only fair. So, yeah, as far as the other members, only Takan and Cheeseman have gotten my attention. I'm sorry, guys, by the way.
They won't kill you.
I know, I just don't, I don't want to sound like I'm high and mighty at all. I'm not sanctimonious at all.
Oh, I can change that. Death Note Shinigami or Bleach Shinigami?
I'd rather have a Zanpakuto than a Death Note, so I'd probably have to go with Bleach Shinigami. Though I love Ryuk, don't get me wrong.
Oh, what does it feel like having subscribers like Masako or Lanny Patora and HBI2K?
Does the world's biggest boner count as a way to describe it? Because if it does, then definitely. When I saw them, adding me, I was like, oh my god. I could squeal like a little fangirl, but I can't get my voice that high. I don't know about a lot. I don't know how much these guys actually add other people, but the fact that they like my stuff, it's always good to have that reassurance. So yeah, I really appreciate Masako and HBHK and Lanny giving me their opinions and, and checking out my stuff. I like it when people check out my stuff.
By stuff, you mean your Abridged series?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean.
Right. Next question. What do you think's the hardest voice for you to do?
Oh, okay. That's gonna be a tie between Zenigata and Jigen. I have been trying and practicing voice acting for a moderate amount of time. I mean, it's something I'm very interested in. But when it came down to Jigen and Zenigata, I was reaching these scratchy, loud parts of my voice that hurt my throat. I mean, it was complicated to, go between their lines. Because you have Jigen, who is so deep down there, and he's constantly growling, almost. And then you have Zenigata, who's up here in the more nasal range. Both of them are always so gruff. It's a little taxing on the voice. So I would definitely have to say it is a firm tie between those two.
Alright, I'm gonna ask one more question.
Sure, go ahead.
How does it feel having over 200 subscribers even though you just put up 3 episodes?
It's fantastic. And I want to say to every single person who has watched me, and every single person who has even seen any of my videos, and especially those who have commented, thank you. Thank you a lot. I not only appreciate it, but it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something with a community, and I'll be able to succeed in my future endeavors. Because while having confidence and being self-confident is easy to say and is good on paper, it really takes support to be able to do it. So, and I think that a series is nothing without its fans. Nothing at all. So I appreciate every single person who has given me support. Thank you all.
Alright, Kaiser, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for the interview. I appreciate it.
And everyone who's watching this, check out Lupin the Third Abridged at KaiserNeko's page. It's youtube.com/KaiserNeko. Do you have anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Check out G Gundam Abridged. It is funny. I mean, these guys know the series and they love the series so much. It's great material. You guys need to check it out. And again, thank you.
Thank you.